We're back with the producers of the new Atlas Shrugged movie, John Aguilera, Harmon Kaslow, as well as Matthew Marsden, the actor who plays James Taggart. In a moment, we'll play a sneak preview of the movie for you, but first, a few questions from my Facebook page and Twitter. Catherine McCluskey asks, I heard the last installment of the movie, the three-parter, is going to be a musical. Say it ain't so.
You know, Victor Hugo was one of her favorite authors. And a terrible idea would have been to make a musical out of Les Miserables, such a dark, dreary, it just couldn't happen. Oh, it just celebrated its 25th anniversary, and it's done wonderfully. So you can make a musical out of a dark, dreary movie. If
Part 3 of Atlas Shrugged is going to be a music?
We haven't started yet on part 3.
It's marketing spin.
But actually, before we go to questions, let's take a look at a longer scene from the movie that you, the producers, I'm grateful you've given it to us exclusively. So here in this scene, steelmaker Hank Reardon's warned about trouble in Washington.
I don't care what the industry says, Henry. Reardon Metal, it's terrific. I just hope you don't run into any trouble.
What trouble?
Well, you're not very popular, Hank.
I haven't heard any complaints from my customers.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. You know what you should do? You ought to get yourself a good press agent to sell you to the public.
It's my metal I'm selling, not me. Thank you.
But you don't want the public against you. Public opinion, you know, it can mean a lot.
As far as I can tell, it doesn't mean a damn thing one way or another.
The press is against you?
They have time to waste. I don't.
Well, they say you're intractable, you're ruthless, your only goal is to make money.
My only goal is to make money.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say it. Hank, I'm on your side. How's your man in Washington?
Wesley Mouch. He's fine, I suppose.
Good. It's important that your man in Washington is fine.
What are you trying to imply, Paul? Is there something going on that I should know about?
No. It's nothing. Just, you don't know who's loyal these days.
What is wrong with the world, Paul?
Well, I ask useless questions. How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? Who is John Galt?
And of course, that's the classic question featured throughout the story, but I want to go back to something that he said, you got to make sure you have a good man in Washington. And that's true today, and that's sad. You've got Silicon Valley companies who used to have no lobbyists, now they spend millions on lobbyists. You have to kiss their ring?
Well, that's an assumption that elitist politicians in Washington have to understand, that when you take away the producers and the creators, the entrepreneurs from doing what they're doing, they may want to strike. And we don't want Atlas shrugging in America. So when government goes up to the golden goose each day and takes an egg, well, there may be a day when the goose will say, drop dead.
Let me go to your thoughts, questions. Yes, sir.
My question is to the producers. Now, I don't know what Ayn Rand thought about labor unions with its tendency to coerce and bully, but if I presume correctly that you had to hire actors who were union members, how do you think Ayn Rand would feel that you had to film her film in a closed union shop?
You take that one, Harmon.
Well, for us, I mean, it was not really about whether we were going to do union or non-union. It was about finding the right, talented people to, you know, execute.
But is he right? Are they all union if you're shooting in L.A.?
Think what it's like for us being actors, having to be a part of the union. We have no option. I mean, our hands are tied. It's incredibly frustrating. And there's a lot of people in that I know, actors in Hollywood, that want to do what's called SAG Financial Core, which means they just do the bare minimum, you know, give the bare minimum dues, because we know where the money's going. I got my card the other day and it says AFL-CIO in it.
Yes?
I just had a question for John. I was wondering, did you consider yourself libertarian all your life, or was there like a specific moment, I guess in time, where you became libertarian? And if so, did Ayn Rand have any influence on on your bearing on that?
That was a great question. The other day, I went back to my small town where I graduated from high school. And in my early teens, 13 years old, I went and stood at the spot where I became a capitalist. It was not lemonade stand, but it was these snow cones where you butt flavoring, and I would go and buy the ice and put things together. And I stood there and I said, this is when I became a capitalist, at 13, selling at 5 cents per cup snow cones. And it was a great moment, just the other day.
And also, after that, you discovered Atlas Shrugged, and that changed you.
Yeah, in the 70s, I read the book, and those of you who have read the book know someone will come up and say, hey, when did you get zapped? Meaning, when did you read the book? And it does change your life for the better. It's a book that is something that you take in after a couple of months of reading it, and I think you'll find it will change your life.
Changed your life.
Certainly did.
Well, thank you, John Aguilera. I hope it happens. Harmon Kaslow, Matthew Marston. Thank you for making the film and joining us today. Coming up, President Obama says he's agreed to the largest annual spending cut in our history. Is he telling the truth? That's next.